anything's possible.
If you try and be patient, it pays off while you're waiting. The seeds you water will grow, the rest will follow. Cause this life's what you make it, and some rules are for breaking. Destiny will play its role, you know. What's meant to be will be, even when it's not easy. Live your life free, no boundaries, even when it's not easy. If you give love, you get love. If you give up, you get nothing. Can't you see? If you just believe anything's possible, don't rush too much. When it gets rough, get tough, sing with me. Through everything, anything is possible. Doesn't always make sense why some things gotta happen. Fight through the rain, cause you know the sun will follow. If you practice persistence, somebody's gonna witness. You're working hard and it shows, you know. What's meant to be will be, even when it's not easy. Live your life free, no boundaries, even when it's not easy. If you give love, you get love. If you give up, you get nothing. Can't you see? If you just believe anything's possible, don't rush too much. When it gets rough, get tough, sing with me. Through everything, anything is possible. Are you ready to go? I've waited for a long time. I must be out of my mind. Now I'm ready for this to start. When the lights go out, it's so dark. When the moment comes, we'll find apart. Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? Are you ready to go?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Betty Ford Adventureland webinar. This is the first of our webinars for the spring, and we're really happy that you could join us. My name is Mary Steck. I am your camp director for the summer, and Drew DeMall is also with us. He is our reservation director for this year. We would like you to know that this is the first of several webinars that we'll be having, and going forward, those webinars will be combined with those for the Scouts BSA side of camp, and they will occur on the third Tuesday of every month at 7 p.m. If you have questions as we go through tonight, please feel free to use the chat function and type your question there. If it's possible, we'll answer it right away, or we'll go through them at the end and try to address all your concerns. You are also welcome to email me at any time. My email address shows up in here a couple of times, but it is mary.steck@scouting.org. Chris, next slide, please. So obviously the top question on everybody's mind is COVID. And I want you to know that Gerber Scout Reservation is going to continue to follow the guidelines that we receive from Michigan Crossroads Council. And these are based on the most current information from the state of Michigan, the CDC, and our licensing agency. We will keep you updated, and as we have any new information and if there are any changes made to the way we are going to be operating for the summer. And please remember that all programs and schedules are subject to change at any time based on the current COVID guidelines. I know that makes it interesting to plan for your summer, but it's going to be make it the best possible summer that we can do for you. So be patient with us. Know that we are keeping our eye on those guidelines, and we will do our best to follow them and to make sure that you're aware of what we are doing. If you have any very specific questions about COVID, please send us an email and we will direct them to the appropriate individual to get that information to you as soon as we can. Next slide, please. Our promise to you for the summer is that we, the camp staff, are dedicated to providing our customers and guests a legendary Scout camp experience while participating in our life-changing year-round camp programs. We are committed to providing facilities, programs, services, and camp leadership that will consistently exceed the expectations of our customers and guests. Our Michigan Scout camps will be safe havens for experiencing the best of the adventures and values of the Boy Scouts of America. Our planning focus for this summer is that we will plan an innovative program that meets the needs of all Scouts and one that will be provided by qualified and talented staff. There are going to be some changes in the programming that will happen on Cubside this year, and those are because of some changes in the Guide to Safe Scouting. That being said, we have some exciting things planned, and we'll have some exceedingly exciting experiences for your Scouts. We will work diligently to plan and implement a high-quality food service program. We will continue to upgrade and refresh our facilities. We will engage you, our leaders, in our process and implementation. And when we talk about facilities here, one thing you need to know is that the shower house on Cubside has been demolished. It was bulldozed, and in its place is a brand new, very, very high-end shower house. And we are excited that you'll be able to experience that this summer. Next slide, please. I've included on this slide the sample of what the schedule will look like for either our Cub session, which is 3 days and 2 nights, or our Webelow session, which is 4 days and 3 nights. This is found in the Leader's Guide. You can download that Leader's Guide on the Michigan Crossroads website under the Outdoor Adventure tab. It is very similar to what we have had in the past, and that's what we will hope to follow this summer. Next slide, please. So the focus tonight is really going to be on how camp will be safe this summer. And again, a reminder that schedules and procedures are subject to change as we receive guidance from our licensing agency and Michigan Crossroads Council. So in this regard, we have a short video for you to watch, and then we'll have some questions and time to talk about that. Go ahead, Chris. Thank you, Chris. That was a very nice video that kind of highlighted all the points that I'm going to cover tonight. We'll talk about them in a little bit more depth, and you'll be able to answer some questions if you need to. First on my list is check-in and color groups. Prior to coming to camp, and this is maybe different than what you've experienced in the past, but prior to coming to camp, you will be assigned to a color group and a den pod. For example, you may be in the red group, but den pod A. We will use color groups and super den chiefs the way we always have, but inside that larger color group, we will be breaking into small groups of 10, and we will stay within those den pods for the week. Check-in will be at an assigned time per color group, so all members of the group must be present to check in. There will be a spot in our parking lot as you come in, and you'll be guided to that spot for your color group to check in. Temperatures will be taken before anyone may leave their vehicles. When that is completed, your super den chief will guide you to your campsite to complete the check-in process, and we'll do that in your campsites. We are going to break our color groups into den pods. The state of Michigan calls them pods. We are calling them den pods because dens make sense to Cub Scouts. So a den pod will consist of 3 to 10 scouts and adults, and these groups will stay together for their stay at camp, including meals, program areas, fire bowl, all the things that you're used to. So it'll be as a color group, but you will be in smaller groups within your color group. Next slide, please. As you might imagine, tents is going to be a different situation this summer. Because COVID guidelines are requiring that there be only one person per tent, or a parent and a child per tent, siblings may also share tents. As a result, we will not be putting up the large canvas tents for this summer. We will need everyone to provide their own tent for their stay at camp. If this is a hardship for you or for some of your parents, if they do not own a tent or are not able to borrow a tent, please contact me directly. My email is on this slide, and we will work with you to make sure that everyone has what they need to be able to come to camp. But we will not be using the very large tents that we put 5 kids in, and that is for COVID safety reasons. Next slide, please. Pre-camp, you read on there that we are going to be doing some pre-camp screening. We are asking that for 14 days prior to coming to camp, all participants stay close to home, avoid large group gatherings, and follow all the guidelines proven to reduce the risk of transmission of COVID. Things like masking and social distancing. We are also going to have participants complete a BSA pre-event health screening form and bring it to camp with you. Next slide, please. This is what that form looks like. So for those 14 days, you will be taking your temperature. You will be responding to whether or not you have any of the symptoms that are listed on this form. This is a way to take care, to screen yourself, but also for us to know that you are healthy when you are coming to camp, and the health of you and your scouts is our first priority. So everyone, including staff, will be using this form prior to coming to camp. Next slide, please. While you are at camp, so den pod leaders will also complete a health check each morning with their pod. There's a form for that. We'll look at that in a minute. It's the same situation. We will be taking temperatures. You'll have a health kit with your pod and with your color group, so you'll be able to take temperatures easily, and we'll record that information and turn that into the health lodge each morning before we begin programs. All participants, youth and adult, will mask except when eating, swimming, and sleeping. And frequent hand washing will be encouraged, and hand sanitizer will be available in all program areas and will be used on a very regular basis. Next slide. This is a copy of that health screening form, and it will be one form per den pod. And so as you come to camp, you'll be put into those dens. You'll list everyone there. One adult will take responsibility for this form for the time that you're there. Next slide. Additional precautions. So our program areas and activities will be adjusted to limit person-to-person contact. And program areas will be sanitized before use and after each rotation. As we break into color pods and move through our program areas, we will have multiple smaller group activities that will happen in each area, and your group will get to participate in all of those activities, but will rotate through them rather than having the large group activities that you may have had if you came to camp in the past. Our dining hall procedures. Our dining hall will be as open as possible for clean air circulation. We hope to use our dining hall, and at this point, I think that will be something we'll be able to do. We are going to be using disposable tableware, and that will be used for all meals, disposable plates, disposable silverware, disposable cups. Color groups will have assigned seating areas and will be socially distanced by den pods. We are going to limit the number of individuals at a table so that we can socially distance, even if at our tables within our den pods while we're inside for meals. Lunch will still be served socially distanced at the whistle stop like it always has. So our Cub Scout sessions, there are 6 of them. One is in July, it's just before the 4th of July. The rest of them will pick up at the end of July and go back to back through the beginning of August. Next slide. Our We Below sessions, there are 8, and they begin June 20th, and they run all the way through the 3rd week in July. These dates are, again, on the website, Michigan Crossroads website, so you can access that and find the dates that work best for you. Next slide. So here's a little bit more of information where you can register. If you are coming to Betty Ford Adventureland Cub Scout Overnight Camp, the cost for that is $120 per youth and adult, and the link is right there to take you to registration. Cub Scout Overnight Camp is 3 days and 2 nights, and it is designed for wolves and bears. And We Below's Overnight Camp is listed just below that. The cost there is $150 per youth and adult with the link, and that is designed for We Below's and Arrow of Light groups. So if you have any questions or concerns or need more information about that, my email is there, Drew's email is there, and either one of us will be able to help you out with that. Next slide, please. Okay, so I'm sorry, that's the end of the slides. Let me look at the questions that we have and see what we can do here to help you out. Okay, den pods. Den pods need to be between 3 and 10, and that is scouts and leaders combined. And they can be mixed gendered groups, because you may be coming with boys and girls from your pack, and so that will be mixed gendered groups. A den pod. Does a den pod mean that if a pack comes together, it'll be right? No, not necessarily. I think that if you bring your pack together, depending on the number, we will put you into pods. Could be mixed. The other thing is, if you have concerns or questions about that, or if you're bringing a large group, we could certainly talk about how you would like them divided. If you bring enough people to form your own pods, we'll certainly accommodate how you'd like that to be.
Hey, Mary, it's Diana.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I've been answering most of the questions that have come through the chat. So the only ones I didn't get to are pretty much at the end. One of the questions is wolves and bears, no tigers. They want to know if tigers can come to camp.
Tigers can come to camp. If you have a youth that has completed kindergarten and will be going into the 1st grade, they are a Tiger Scout and they can come to camp. They must have their own adult with them, that either a parent or a grandparent. So it's 1-to-1 for Tigers.
The other question is, do you have any info about themes and what camp has to offer?
So our theme for the summer is, for the entire reservation, is the Olympics. And so the activities that we do may have that Olympic theme to them, which kind of lends itself to small groups and working together in your groups or little teams. On next Tuesday's webinar, I will spend some time going over each of our program areas and the kinds of things that you might find at those program areas. I kind of wanted to hit the COVID things tonight because those are the first questions that come up. So please join us next Tuesday and you'll have more information about each program area.
Mary, there's another question about allergies, like food allergies.
So, and when you register, there is a form that you can fill out relevant to food allergies, and we will be sure to accommodate any allergy needs and any special dietary needs that you or your scouts may have. It also should go on your health form as you fill that out, and that's a nice way for us to double check that we are making sure that we have those accommodations. Again, if it's something that is, unusual or severe, please email me and we'll talk directly about how we can meet those for your scout.
And Mary, is this helping you for me to read the questions?
It certainly is.
Okay, just want to make sure. The question from Jennifer is, we are coming a different week than the rest of our pack. Is this a problem?
That is not a problem at all. We can accommodate individual parents and scouts for any session at all.
I've got a question from Teresa. If we are in different pods, can we tent with each other?
No, you can't. I mean, you can't tent with each other. You'll be in the same, if you're in the same color group, the color group will be assigned an area or a large campsite, but pods will need to be tenting together and socially distancing from the other pods within their group. So if you're coming with your child, you will be tenting together. And does that answer that question, Diana?
Yeah, I think the question was, if our den has different pods, can we tent? I'm not sure if it's, can we mix up our tenting, or do we have to stay within our pods, and can our den stay together? That's how I read it.
If your pack is coming with more individuals, then we'll fill a pod. We will be sure to keep you in the same color group, so you will be as together as you can be given the COVID guidelines, but you will then travel together during the day to the different program areas.
Perfect.
We won't mix people from packs into different color groups.
Can a single scout and leader attend camp if the pack is not attending?
Absolutely. We would love to have you, and that happens very frequently.
If we have a group of 3 to 9, will we be mixed with other campers to form a den pod of 10?
That will depend on the number of individuals that are coming to camp and for your particular session. If you have a den pod of 8 or 9, you probably are going to remain a den pod of 8 or 9. If you are coming as a parent and a child, we will probably put you in another den pod with other either small groups or parent and child combinations, so that pods that are in that 8 to 10 category.
I love this question. This is from Amanda. Amanda, I have twin tigers. Will both parents need to be present?
Diana, I'm going to let you answer that.
So here's the thing. Tigers need to have an adult partner with them. If you have twin tigers and you are the parent, you can be the adult parent as long as you are with them at all times. Both parents don't have to come, since you have the two, whether it be boys, girls, boy, girl, that would be perfectly fine for one parent to come, since they are your children. And
you'll be in the same time they are, so you're not going to have the opportunity to be separate from them, unfortunately. For you, maybe. And
I have a scout with some physical limitations. Are there any accommodations in case the scout can't make extended hike distances?
We will work with you. Please, as you register, email me with those concerns, because those are things that we want to make sure that we accommodate for. When we talk about making camp accessible and fun for all scouts, I mean exactly that. We will work with you and your scouts' needs to make sure that they have the same, or as close to the same experience that everyone else does. We will work with you and make it happen.
Mary, I think this is in regards to Webelos Camp specifically. It says, an individual, if I'm an individual, so a parent and a child come, and I'm in somebody else's pod, do they all have to do the same electives and required adventures together?
So at Webelos Camp, it is not, we do not have individual program like there are merit badges on the Boy Scout side or the Scouts BSA side. So everybody will get the same experience and the same opportunities to do the same activities. So it's not a choice. You'll be doing what's offered in the program areas, and it will be focused on the kinds of things that occur in the Webelos rank advancement, and just some general fun activities and games that are appropriate to that age group. We'll talk a little bit more about that on Tuesday.
We're almost done, Mary. I think we have
Okay.
two more.
Okay.
Do scouts wear a uniform every day or at all at camp? We are not coming with a pack, just a parent and a scout.
So at Gerber Scout Reservation, we ask that when you come to dinner in the evening, we have a flag ceremony prior to dinner, and we ask that you wear your uniform for that occasion only. During the day, as you're out and about around camp and in the program areas, you do not need to wear a uniform. That can be either your PAX t-shirt or a scouting t-shirt or whatever you have that is appropriate for the occasion. Uniforms are for the flag ceremony and dinner only.
Okay, this looks like it's the last question. Oh, maybe not. It says full Class A dinner or full Class A or full field uniform for dinner or just shirt.
Just the shirt is fine. Because I will tell you that many Cub Scouts don't take their bathing suit off the entire week. So just put the shirt over the top. We're all good.
That is very true. Mary, let me know if you want to answer this or you want me to answer it. Can we pay at scoutingevent.com on an individual basis, or does the pack have to all register and pay as one group?
I know the answer, but I'm going to let you answer it anyway.
Sure. So when the original registration goes in, if you are registering as a den or a pack, the original registration needs to have at least a deposit that goes in with it, which is $25 per person. From that point on, if you decide that you want to use our parent portal system, which is part of the scoutingevent.com, our Black Pug system, that's our registration. If you want to use the parent portal, then there is a little checkbox that says, would you like to use parent portal? And if you check that, that means everybody in your unit that you sign up, and you have to put an email address for everybody that's in there, will get an email that says, you have access to the registration, and the rest of the payments can be made by each family from that point forward. So that original payment is made by the unit. And then if you use the parent portal, then each parent can pay from that point forward. Oh goodness, here's a long one.
I just read it, so.
Okay, good.
So the question is whether or not we have to maintain COVID protocols in the event of severe weather. They are saying that in the past they've had to evacuate in the middle of the night to the dining hall in the event of severe weather. And oh, you want to see faces?
I think my light's on.
I know, that's the other thing.
Normally I'm just like the voice in the background that helps out.
So am I. So severe weather is going to take precedence over everything. If we need to get you from your tents into the dining hall, I'm going to ask that you grab those masks and bring them with you. We will socially distance as best we can, but your safety is absolutely going to come first. And we will be in the dining hall as normal in case of severe weather.
That looks like that is it, Mary.
That looks like is it. So you did that 2 years ago at midnight. Oh, I do remember that 2 years ago at midnight, very clearly. That was a long night. Lots of thunder and lots of lightning. So something else that will maybe ease some of those fears. If you look at Upper Tent Village with the new dining hall, and if you look on our Gerber Scout Reservation Facebook page, you'll see some pictures of that construction. You will also notice that a lot of trees have been removed. And so that will make that entire camp area a little more easy to access and maybe a little safer when you think about trees and storms. So, so we are looking forward to having you join us at Gerber this summer. Please feel free to email me. You can find my phone number on the Michigan Crossroads website. I will be happy to talk to you on the phone. I will happy to email with you. If you need someone to come to your pack and talk about camp and what we're going to be offering and how this is going to work to help your parents out, I will be happy to do that as well.
Mary, they're asking about slushies. They want to know if there's going to be slushies this summer.
Of course there will be slushies. What would camp be without slushies, you know? Absolutely. It's a priority. We may try to put a few little healthy snacks in that trading post as well, but there will definitely be slushies there. So join us next Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, and we will talk a little bit more about program area, and then going forward, it'll be the third Tuesday of every month until camp starts. So if there are no more questions, I'm going to let you go for tonight, and we'll talk to you all again next Tuesday.